Should someone who is not an expert in economics or social issues express their views on socialism? Einstein believed that he should, and here's why. First, he looks at the question from a scientific perspective. At first glance, economics might seem similar to fields like astronomy. Both try to discover general laws and explain how things work. But economics is far more complicated. Economic phenomena are influenced by countless factors, many of which are difficult to isolate and analyze. Additionally, human history has been shaped not just by economic forces, but also by conquest, power struggles, and social hierarchies. For example, throughout history, conquering groups often became the ruling class, controlling land, wealth, and even education. This created systems where the privileged few held power, while the majority were left with little. These systems became deeply ingrained and have persisted for centuries. Einstein points out that we are still in what economist Thorstein Veblen called the predatory phase of human development. This phase is characterized by competition, exploitation, and conflict, where individuals or groups try to dominate others for their own gain. The economic rules we observe today are products of this phase, and they may not apply to a future where humanity has moved beyond it. Socialism, he argues, aims to help us overcome this predatory phase. However, current economic science doesn't have all the answers for what that post-predatory society would look like. Secondly, Einstein emphasizes that socialism isn't just about economics, it's also about ethic and values. Science can provide tools to achieve certain goals, but it can't create the goals and instill them in people. The ideals of socialism, fairness, justice, and equality, come from individuals with strong ethical convictions. If these ideas resonate with people, they can inspire societal change. For these reasons, he believed that we shouldn't overestimate the role of science, or assume that only experts have the right to discuss how society should be organized. Everyone, regardless of their experience, should have a voice in shaping the future. But why does this matter right now? Einstein observed that many people feel society is in crisis. There is a growing sense of disconnection, indifference, and even hostility towards the groups we are a part of. To illustrate this, he shared a personal story. He once discussed the threat of another war with an intelligent and well-meaning person. Einstein argued that a global organization was needed to prevent such a catastrophe. Thereupon his visitor, very calmly and coolly, said to him, "Why are you so deeply opposed to the disappearance of the human race?" He notes that 100 years ago, no one would have made such a statement so casually. It's a sign of someone who has lost hope and feels deeply isolated. This sense of despair and alienation is widespread today. Why is this happening? Is there a way out? Einstein acknowledges that these questions are easier to ask than answer, but attempts to address them nonetheless. He talks about the dual nature of humans. He explains that humans are both solitary and social beings. On one hand, we strive to protect ourselves and our loved ones, pursue our personal desires, and develop our abilities. On the other hand, we seek connection, love, recognition, and the opportunity to contribute to the well-being of others. These two aspects of human nature often clash, and how we balance them shapes who we are and how we fit into society. Our personalities, he argues, are influenced by both genetics and environment. While our biological traits are largely fixed, the society we grew up in its traditions, values, and structures, play a major role in shaping how we become. Society is essentially the sum of relationships with others, both past and present. It provides us with food, shelter, tools, language, and even the way we think. We depend on society for nearly everything, whether we realize it or not. Unlike ants and bees, whose behavior is governed by rigid instincts, humans have the ability to adapt and change. Our capacity for thought, communication, creativity has allowed us to develop traditions, institutions, art, and technology. This means we have the power to shape our future through our actions and choices. Einstein identifies the core issue of our time as the relationship between individual and society. People are more aware than ever of their dependence on society, but they don't see this dependence as a positive force. Instead, they perceive it as a threat to their freedom or survival. At the same time, modern society encourages selfishness, while our natural desire to connect with others weakens. This leaves people feeling insecure, lonely, and cut off from the simple joys of life. The root of this problem, according to him, is capitalism. In a capitalistic system, the economy is driven by competition and profit. The means of production, factories, resources, and tools are owned by private individuals. Workers sell their labor to capitalists, but are paid far less than the value they produce. Over time, wealth and power become concentrated in fewer hands, leading to inequality and instability. Even democratic governments struggle to keep the system in check, as they are often influenced by wealthy capitalists. This system, he argues, distorts our values. For example, education often prioritizes competition and material success over cooperation and social responsibility. Einstein believed that socialism would offer a way out of these problems. In a socialist system, society would own the means of production, and the economy would be planned to meet the needs of everyone, not just a wealthy few. Work would be shared, everyone would have a guaranteed livelihood. Education would focus on developing individuals' talents and fostering a sense of responsibility towards others, rather than glorifying wealth and power. However, he cautions that socialism isn't just about a planned economy. It's also about overcoming the predatory phase of human development, the phase marked by competition and exploration. To achieve this, we must address difficult political challenges, such as preventing bureaucracy from becoming too powerful and ensuring individual rights are protected. Einstein concludes by stressing the importance of open discussion about socialism, especially in a time of great change. Unfortunately, these discussions are often suppressed. He believes that it is crucial to keep the conversation alive, because everyone, not just experts, should have a say in shaping the future of society.